Good evening, Dr. Galik. Good evening, dear colleagues. To navigate my presentation, I'm going to be using my sticky notes that will tie everything I'm saying to our leadership theories we learned so far and to Northhouse 2019. I'm going to be also using features in Loom video recording. Some of you were asking me about it. If you have more questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help. Leader who was interviewed for this research paper is a longtime educator, John. He's a curriculum director at Bancroft, but he's also an instructor at Rowan University. He instructs on approaches to applied behavior analysis. My interview was conducted on Monday at Bancroft, and the subject of our interview was John's organization-wide initiative to adopt a research-based curriculum. First, let me tell you about our organization. In order to present it, I chose one of the videos. Unfortunately, it's so many good pictures that I had to speed it up in order for you to see everything I wanted to show you about our organization. Bancroft NeuroHealth is a nonprofit organization. This is our new campus that you just see, and we provide services to people with developmental and intellectual disabilities, mostly autism. This is our senior vice president, Dennis, a very kind and very inspirational leader. We serve also people with brain injury and other people in need of neurological rehabilitation. Revealing as we progress in our presentation. As you can see, we offer many, many services, not just typical school work, paper, pencil related. Cultural diversity plays a huge role at Bancroft. Studies show that many organizations became more culturally diverse, and actually data shows that it's exactly the same with our Bancroft, with our organization. So we know, and John told me that cultural diversity plays a huge role also among our teachers. Because once we start roll out of organization-wide curriculum, we will need to meet all teachers' expectations. For example, collectivistic culture versus individualistic culture, as reported by Hall 1976, or dimensions of power of distance, or uncertainty avoidance, or long-term versus short-term orientation, as proposed by Hofstede, 1980 and 2001. This realization is based on the fact that some of our teachers are from Germanic and Eastern Europe, as probably you can hear me as well, with high culture and assertiveness orientation. But majority of our teachers are from Anglo backgrounds, with performance orientation as cultural dimension. This is as reported by House, Hager, Javidan, Duffman, Gupta in 2004 and reported in Northhouse 2019. So I'm going to be talking about cultural diversity in this context. And as John told me, this was one of the important considerations when he was drafting proposal for our administration. Leader who I interviewed for the purpose of this presentation is John Bernard, as you can see in this video. He's the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Training, and he has been in this position for past 6 years. He is also board certified behavior analyst, and prior to Bancroft, he worked in similar positions in other organizations. He worked with Bancroft before as well in a position of Director of Vocational Training for our students with developmental disabilities. John utilizes different leadership styles to achieve a goal, as he told me, because I asked him specifically about that. I know him for 6 years, and in my interview with him, I'm going to be referring to different leadership styles based on what he told me, but also based on how I know him in my daily interactions with him. And as you can see, also in interactions with our students and with our leadership. We went through many chapters in Nordhaus leadership styles. And for the purpose of my presentation, I interviewed John to get an insight into his leadership style. And I interviewed him on most recent initiative that he led. He initiated as a leader as well. And it was organization-wide initiative of installing a groundbreaking evidence-based curriculum supported by an in-depth assessment and powered by an interactive website, Autism Curriculum Encyclopedia. In the initial stage, I saw John was utilizing situational approach because he had to connect with business administration and with the leadership of Bancroft. I kind of saw him in the quadrant S2 with high directive and high supportive behaviors, where he kind of was in the role of coaching, but he had to be very delicate in every of his interactions, not to come across as a leader in the positions where he was interacting with other peers. In our interview, John explained to me how he had to create very personal relationships with few teachers who were starting the whole process of curriculum and rollout. And that actually reminded me dyad relationships between leader and a follower and what it means to be in-group and out-group, but also based on newer research from Nordhaus, what it means for the whole organization and how this kind of leadership of LMX can benefit the whole organization. So what kind of leader is John? Throughout my interview, I was always searching for for the answer to this question, because I see him as highly self-disciplined person who values his own purpose, who is able to convey his passion and is able to demonstrate that in his behavior. So I was thinking of authentic leadership in this context. Newer research on authentic leadership concentrates about an idea that leadership is created between leaders and followers together. For example, Eagley 2005. This reciprocal process was evident in my interview with John when he was explaining how he had to influence every level in the organization in order for change to take place. However, I do see there a room for improvement. When I'm doing my reflection on my interview, I'm thinking maybe if teachers would be more involved in this whole process on so many different levels, I think it would be way stronger approach and more of buy-in from the people who were affected most, teachers. In our course, we learned a lot about the different leadership styles. When I think about my interview with John, I am thinking about Colin Powell's code that actually summarizes every leadership style. It's all about people. You have to be people-oriented. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. I'm looking forward to watching yours. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to see you, dear colleagues, in the positions of power that will make our society a better place. Dr. Galik, thank you so much for this class.